is the best, we putting our hands up. My time, nothing can keep me from reaching the top. This time, like the last time, I'm moving so fast, I'm ready to ride. I'm ready to throw down, it's time for the showdown. I'm ready to rise, don't be surprised, I'll take on the world now. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown, we know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top, we're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My town, my crown, we know what it takes to be reaching the top. We're reaching the top, we're reaching the top. We know what it takes to be reaching the top. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Turning the track up, I'll never go back down. Hand over my heart, I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop.
Fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got everything outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up top!
Oh my god! Oh. Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go!
Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?
Welcome one and welcome all to SimSpeed TV this Tuesday night, the conclusion of another season of racing in the Pro Truck Showdown, presented by Scumander Coffee Mug and Hot Toddy's Heating Installs. Season 5 has certainly been one of the most competitive yet, with Altus Esports, Jordan Caruso and Cooper Webster really taking the fight to the reigning champion Brenton Hobson in the opening rounds of the season, but neither of them are here tonight at Crandon International Raceway, so as it stands, it looks like Brenton Hobson is poised on the verge of taking his second running title in the Pro Truck Showdown series. I'm Reese Gardner. Joining me in the commentary box is Nick Skariev. Nick, we're at Crandon for this one, and I remember the last time Pro Truck Showdown raced at Crandon in an off-season special event. It was certainly a belter. I had to go myself, and my goodness, it is tough. Here we go, zooming on into Wisconsin, where we can take a look at this classic American dirt racing venue. Crandon's been around since the 1970s, and it's always provided fantastic racing.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Reese. Thanks for having me. And yeah, you're exactly right. There's so many great truck racing in the real life and in the sim world as well. So it has some really tight hairpins as well. A lot of fast sections, and much like a lot of the other dirt tracks that we have here as well, it's like the undulations and the hilly sections is what really makes it, sets it apart.
Indeed, and you see the start area highlighted on the screen there. Crandon has something special, the Land Rush start. All of the drivers will be lining up side to side and all going at once into that sweeping turn to start the race, but they won't actually cross the line to start lap 1 until halfway around that lap. Here are the championship standings as they are at the moment. Cooper Webster in the lead by 19 points over Brenton Hobson, with Glenn Postlethwaite trailing closely-ish behind, 40 points behind his teammate. Glenn Postlethwaite, of course, champion of this series as well. Synergy Sim Racing really made their mark on the Pro Truck Showdown. But unfortunately for Jordan Caruso and Cooper Webster, the fact that they're not here tonight means that they're not going to be able to capitalize on that lead that Webster has. And Caruso didn't race in the previous round either. So Altus Esports, it's a bit sad not to see them here, but certainly we'll see some entertaining racing, particularly between Justin Howe and Jaden Russell for 4th place in the championship. And we've got to keep an eye out for Zach Blanche too. He's very strong on the dirt, sitting there in 6th. He could get big points tonight.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, Reese. And it's one of those things as well. You'd say if you were Brenton Hobson, you'd be an absolute shoe-in for the championship. But these dirt events are always so unpredictable as well. And we've seen so many instances like we have. I think it was only 2 or 3 weeks ago where we've had a lot of accidents and a lot of people not actually making the finish. So it will be a bit of a battle of attrition, especially in some of the longer races that are later on in the evening.
Indeed, qualifying is pretty much complete, and this is how they're going to line up here for the first race of the night. 5 laps around Crandon. Brenton Hobson and Zach Blanche on the front row if it was a normal grid. Blanche, of course, doing very well on the dirt as per usual. Jaden Russell and Justin Howe on row 2, with Glenn Postlethwaite and Cameron Dance making up the top 6. Cam's decided to have a bit of a run here in the final round. He's usually the co-commentator on this series. Jake Jackson and Daniel Stevens on row 4, with Brian Trezise and Damian Westbrook rounding out the top 10. And the final 4 spots are taken up by Mitchell McLeod, Wilhelm Layton, Gregory Favell, and Philip Howe. 14 trucks here tonight, but we certainly know that there's some fantastic racing to be had in this series, and with the Land Rush start, my goodness, I'm looking for some chaos on lap 1.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. You'd say, oh yeah, Brenton Hobson being there on pole, but there isn't really a pole there. He'll be lining up. They usually run 12 or so wide there at the moment, so we're going to have that first row of about 10 or so, and then they'll have these last 2 in behind as well. So there'll be quite a lot happening as the green flag drops.
Indeed, we got a minute left on the gridding period, but nearly all of the drivers are out there on the grid at the moment. We're just waiting on Brenton Hobson, I think, to make his way onto the starting grid. Mitchell McLeod also yet to click the race button, and Philip Howe as well. So 3 drivers that we are waiting for here. We're going to try to leave it as late as possible. I think just to let their opponents get a little bit complacent here on the starting grid. your mind will tend to wander and you tend to fall out of the mindset that you need to be in to get an optimum start. 20 seconds left, and I'm still not seeing Brenton Hobson on there. Mitchell McLeod's up there in the 11th starting spot with 10 seconds to go. Where is Brenton Hobson? There is Brenton Hobson. And there we go. All of the drivers on the grid bar Philip Howe. The revs rise. And we get ready to go for the land rush start here at Crandon. And they're off. And it looks like a pretty good start from Zach Blanche there. Getting a really good launch. But it seems a little bit better for the likes of Glenn Postlethwaite and Cameron Dance, who immediately goes to the front of the field and leads the way into turn one. Blanche in second, Damien Westbrook trying to go around the outside of that turn into third as they go over the first couple of jumps. And the jumps here at Crandon, you've got to be very careful. Brenton Hobson wasn't careful enough. He has gotten off at the landing very badly and been sent to the back of the field.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And such a problem when you come across these land rush starts, even if you are one of the fastest there, you can be ejected to the back very quickly. So he'll be one to watch, trying to carve his way back through the field. He's already made up about almost 3 positions there through the back, but absolutely all eyes there at the moment on Cameron Dance, getting a really good run there on Zach Blanche.
Yeah, but Blanche is keeping him very honest here as they cross the start-finish line for the first time. Through over the top of the hill, the truck goes very light there. You've got to be careful with how you enter a lot of these corners, and you've got to nail the exit out of this tight left-hander, because you've got pretty much a straight on the way down to the slowest corner on the lap, this very tight hairpin. Zach Blanche is not going for a move on Cameron Dance just yet, but Dance in the number 6 backs it in, and there's contact between him and Blanche in the mid-corner. Damien Westbrook runs wide just behind them and allows Glenn Postlethwaite alongside as they come down back past the starting area and through to the final few corners of the first lap. Here's the onboard from Zach Blanche, and you got to really plan how you tackle these jumps, because you come off them wrong just like that and you can leave the door open to an attack from your rival. Look at the opposite lock that Zach Blanche pulls out. Glenn Postlethwaite, meanwhile, just behind them, has gotten a really good run on Damien Westbrook. He's gone for the over-under, and he is through into third place. Oh, yeah. Not for long.
A bit of a bump there from behind, but Posy looking really, really strong here at the moment. And you're absolutely right there. Through that back section, you've really got to actually line up the corner as you go into the jump. You can't really see what's really happening down the other side there. So a lot of calculated risks and stuff as they come through there. We can just see Zach Blanche there back on through Cameron Dance. So it's going to be a pretty short one here. Only 5 laps. We're 2 laps into it currently.
Yeah, indeed, and looks to me like Dance got off one of the jumps over the start-finish line very wrong, and that's what allowed Zach Blanche through into the lead. He's now got quite a good gap. Glenn Postlethwaite really starting to harass the back of the New Zealander as Damien Westbrook goes around in the hairpin, and oh, that would be a dangerous re-entry in a lot of series. Oh dear, that is our series administrator, Justin Howe, on his roof.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate there for Justin Howe. He will not be too happy about that. That almost started, I think that might have been Mitch McLeod there, accidentally tagging the back of another car. That hairpin corner through there is really difficult, because half the field choose like a really, really tight line, taking it really slowly going in, whereas a lot of other people kind of just throw it in through there. So always a little bit of carnage through that hairpin there.
Champion-elect Brenton Hobson had a very bad first lap. He fell all the way down to 9th, but he's made his way back up to P6 thanks to that incident at the hairpin. Now harassing his teammate Jaden Russell at the final corner, trying his best to get up the inside, but Russell with a little bit more momentum around the outside keeps his teammate behind. But Brenton Hobson is going to want to waste no time in trying to get further back up the front. He knows that Cooper Webster is still ahead of him in the championship standings, and he wants to get as many points as he possibly can to try and secure that title. With some major wheel spin from Jaden Russell out of that left-hander, so Brenton Hobson might just have a run on him down to the hairpin. Does Hobbo go for the move? No, not just yet. Really backing it in. You almost come to a dead stop in the middle of the hairpin. Hobbo picks up the throttle, but it's still not enough there to get past Russell. Just behind them, It's looking very interesting with Brian Trezise, Daniel Stevens, Damian Westbrook, and Wilhelm Leighton all in a battle pack. Westbrook, of course, missing his front end after that incident at the hairpin the lap before. But these guys all in a battle pack as Stevens, very aggressive over the jump, went into the back of Trezise and opens himself up to an attack from Damian Westbrook.
Yeah, Daniel Stevens there really getting the elbows there. We've seen some pretty good pace from Daniel Stevens there when it comes to dirt stuff, but if you're stuck in this pack here, it is quite difficult to break free. You can see, yeah, some of the trucks there at the front having a bit better of a time there as Westbrook all over the place there at the moment, trying to find a way through, even if it means forcing his way through there. So, and a really bad landing there. That's actually led through one of the other cars there through there as well. So Westbrook down in position there. You'll have to try and make it up next race. Yeah.
Yeah, he will have to. Wilhelm there. He's doing quite well at the moment, is Wilhelm. We don't usually give him much airtime because, you know, all the battling up the front usually takes our attention away. But big props to Wilhelm. Starting to make his way forward now in this field. Let's see if he can hold on to it. Russell and Hobson for 5th and 6th. Brenton has still not been able to get past Jaden. Meanwhile, Trezise and Stevens continue as, oh my goodness, Westbrook almost getting into the wall there. It looks like he might have a couple of issues with his truck, maybe some mechanical damage. But the battle continues between Trezise and Stevens, and once again, Stevens gets into the back of Trezise, and that completely ruins his run. And he gets a big old hip check from Wilhelm Leighton, who manages to get up the inside. Leighton is having a fantastic race at the moment, and contact with Stevens in midair. This brings Mitchell McLeod right into this this position fight, and there goes McLeod, pushing Stevens a little bit wide on the exit. Can Stevens get back on the track before the overhead banner? Yes, he can, but ultimately losing a position to the number 40. It's the last lap now, white flag for these guys, and at the moment seems that there's no challenging Zach Blanche up the front. He has just extended that gap over Cameron Dance as Stevens and McLeod continue to fight over that position, but here is the gap at the moment. Dance can just see that potential win falling away. Blanche did everything right on that first lap, kept the pressure on Dance, and if it weren't for that bad landing for Cam, he might have just come away with this, but we've still got a few turns to go. There's still plenty that can go wrong. Zach Blanche really knows how to work it on these dirt tracks. Just a few more turns to go for him as Hobson again trying on Jaden Russell, but there's just too much of a gap between them. Hobbo cannot get anything done. There's a bit more wheel spin there for Jaden Russell as Zach Blanche is about to come across the start-finish line. Just one turn to go here for Zach. And, I mean, he's shown his worth in this championship many times, but certainly this will be a sweet victory for Zach Blanche. The number 2 comes across the line in position number 1.
Yeah, great work there by Zach Blanche. Just checking out some of the more minor places there. Hobbo just missing out there on Gregory Favell. Oh, sorry, Jaden Russell there, his teammate as well. I think we've actually just caught Mitch McLeod there.
Oh, yeah.
But I think about a nose there on Willem there. So great work there by Mitch McLeod in the finishing laps there. So we'll be happy with that.
Certainly will. Here are the results. Zach Blanche taking it by 2.1 seconds from Cameron Dance, and Postlethwaite completes the podium. Gregory Favell, well, he qualified 13th, but the land rush start really benefited him. He ends up coming home 4th. Jaden Russell and Brenton Hobson round out the top 6, and then it's Trezise, McLeod, Leighton, and Stevens rounding out the top 10. Damian Westbrook, the last finisher there on the lead lap. Justin Howe classified a lap down. Jake Jackson, unfortunately, was unable to make it past the first lap, and Philip Howe didn't even take the start. So we've got 13 trucks, I presume, once again on the grid here for race 2. Usually, we have a top 7 invert in this season of the Pro Truck Showdown, but with the nature of the start here at Crandon, it doesn't really make much sense to invert the top 7, so we're going to do it all again as they finished in race 1. Lights up. And away we go, and this time Cameron Dance gets a bit of a better start than Zach Blanche, and they continue across those jumps. Oh, Dance just got a little bit of a bad landing there. He lost momentum as round the outside. Dan Stevens challenging Brenton Hobson for the lead. Hobbo got a great start there. So did Daniel Stevens and Jaden Russell. Zach Blanche holding on to third from Mitchell McLeod, but not for long because there's a big bang of contact there between them, and sent tumbling over is Zach Blanche. My goodness. Can he land it on his wheels? Yes, he can. He can keep going, but that was one heck of a ride.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for Zach Blanche. So he's going to have to fight all the way through the back there, but that might actually be not too bad as we see trucks go here. Yeah, that might have been Gregory Favell, so a bit unfortunate for him there as well. So he's been pushed down the back. It's always these first couple of corners on the first lap. There's always so much carnage of people trying to sort themselves out. You definitely can't win it there from the first corner, but you can definitely lose it, as we've seen in a few instances there as well. So Cam Dance under a lot of pressure there, currently by Mitch McLeod.
Indeed, Hobson in second at the moment from in the lead, Jaden Russell behind him. That's the battle for third we're taking a look at the moment. It's Stevens, Dance and McLeod all embroiled in a fight here, and there's contact between Stevens and Dance. They go get spun around, and McLeod gets spun around too. That's created a big traffic jam at the hairpin with a lot of trucks spinning around, a big shuffling of positions there.
Yeah, we're just trying to see him try and get that power down there over the whoops as they come through that straight there. So quite a lot of time loss there by Mitch McLeod. Also a little bit of damage there you can see down the side. So we're just going to cut to a VRS replay here, Reese.
We are indeed. That's the contact between McLeod and Blanche that sent him absolutely flying through the air. And I mean, these trucks are pretty tough. They can survive quite a hampering. The onboard from Zach Blanche is certainly going to be something to look at here. Let's see what happened. It's just contact in midair that ended up doing it. McLeod just tipping him over and then going for a big old tumble. My goodness, just looking at that makes me dizzy and a little nauseous. I certainly wouldn't want to be Zach Blanche in that situation, but we go back to live pictures, and the 900 of Willem Layton embroiled in a battle here with Justin Howe, who had a poor finish in race one. He's looking to try and make up for that. He's up into fifth now. Can Layton get the over-under done out of this left-hander? Looks like he just got a good bit of traction down in the initial phase, but just ahead is Justin Howe as they come to the braking zone, and Layton on the brakes nice and early. Howe runs wide, tries to get on the throttle a little bit quicker and carry some more momentum out of the corner. It looks like that's worked for him.
Yeah, I've actually, I think Gregory Favell as well has just actually left the circuit there. Yeah, copped a bit of a clip there down the back straight. We might have to cut to a replay if we get the chance after that, but catching up there. Posy. All kinds of crossed up there. I think we actually lost quite a lot of trucks there on that last lap. I think we had another two DNFs there, unfortunately, but I know we had Mitch McLeod went pretty hard into the wall. I know it'd be a bit tricky trying to get a replay of every single one there, but Gregory Favell launching off into space there, so he'll have to end up rejoining a lap down there. So it's actually worked out all right there for Zach Blanche there. The last couple of laps, there's been quite a lot of incidents.
Yeah, so mounting the berm there was Gregory Favell, and Glenn Postlethwaite looking on there as Favell went off the circuit. On board here with Posy, we're going to see this pretty epic fight with Mitchell McLeod. They made contact through the sweeping right-hander. Some fantastic racing there, but Posy just catching the tyre bundle and very nearly coming a cropper, but he just managed to get away with it. So, Brenton Hobson now. It looks like Willem Layton is now out after an incident further back. And I'm not too sure what happened there, but he is back in the pits. That's a big shame there for Willem. But coming through now over the jumps, the number 116 of Jake Jackson. He's got Brian Trezise right in front of him, and this is the battle for 7th place, and Trezise just getting off the jump really badly, went for a spin and has to give up the position to Jackson there.
Yeah, bit of evasive action there by Mitch McLeod as well, so there was a bit of a speed difference through there. He's going to try and make that position up as they go over the jumps. See if he tries to go for a bit of an inside line there. Just watching them all fan out as they come across that start-finish line there as well, so only a few more laps to go here for this called a consolation, but our mid-race here coming through here of 7 laps.
Yeah, it looks like they've mostly managed to sort themselves out. Jake Jackson mounting the berm on the inside of the left-hander there. Didn't get off to a particularly good getaway from that corner, so he's opened himself up to an attack from Brian Trezise here. Let's see how they go into the hairpin. Jackson just kicking the rear end out. He overshoots the corner just a little bit as there's contact behind between Postlethwaite, Blanche, and McLeod. They all managed to sort themselves out. Gregory Favell, who is now a lap down, is embroiled in this fight himself. He just wants to get a finish on the board and some more championship points for himself as they come over the jumps now in the middle of the lap. As McLeod and Blanche come together again, and McLeod massively into the wall. I don't think either of them are going to be too happy with how that went down. It was just coming off the landing of the jump. They made big contact, so that's very unfortunate for them. Another virtual racing school replay we're going to go to here. And once again, I think neither driver is going to be too happy with how this went down.
Yeah, it's always such a tricky jump, that one, because you're throwing it sideways as you come across. And yeah, maybe Mitch might have just gone a little bit too quick into that, unfortunately landing on top of Zach Blanche there. And that will be a DNF for McLeod. Zach Blanche choosing to go on there.
Indeed, so Zach Blanche still holds on to 9th place, but Mitch McLeod is now in the pits. Willem Leighton is back out onto the circuit, it seems, so he might just overtake McLeod for position at some point. Here's the battle for 5th. Jake Jackson, oh my goodness, Justin Howe. Getting a bit of a tap from Brian Trezise, but Brian came off 2nd best from that one. A big old spin at the hairpin. And now Gregory Favell's thinking, I can get in on this. It's not really for position, but I can certainly make myself known to these drivers. But doesn't look like too much has happened there as Zach Blanche continues on. He's going to start to make up some ground there on Brian Trezise if he keeps that kind of driving up. Here's Justin Howe and Glenn Postlethwaite, the battle for 6th place. They got Jake Jackson just up ahead of them, and it's a pretty big gap to Daniel Stevens in 4th. So if there's one mistake from Jackson, then Posy and Howie are going to be brought right into it.
Yeah, I was actually just catching up off camera as well there. So Brenton Hobson there with a bit of lap traffic there. I think that might have been actually Willem Leighton there. A lap down there in 10th place. So Brenton Hobson now needing to pick through the field there. Also, Jaden Russell close in that gap there as well. Roughly around that 2nd mark there at the moment. So not really close enough to put a move in there, but all Hobson will have to do is have a bit of a rough landing there, and he's going to have his teammate right on top of him.
Yeah, certainly. It is the final lap for these guys as we check out Postlethwaite in his pursuit of Howe, and Favell making his way out of the hairpin there. Looks like he is going to be able to get to the finish, which is good for him after what happened to him on the first lap or so. But it looks like only one turn to go for our race leader, Brenton Hobson. Oh, sorry, one more lap after this. Sorry, guys, got my lap counts a bit confused there, but the battle is going to continue for one more lap as Leighton collects the inside wall just behind our 2 leaders. Looks like he's managed to get that truck going again in that position. Here comes Trezise and Blanche. So the battle for 8th. Blanche looking to try and back up his win in race 1, but it's been a pretty terrible run for him, both times due to incidents with Mitchell McLeod. And as they cross the line to get the white flag, he's going to try desperately to try and get Brian Trezise here. Trezise, there I go again, mispronouncing Brian's name. I'd done it for like 6 months beforehand, and I still slip into it every now and then. Let's see how the exit is for Zach Blanche. Just catching the berm. He's lost a bit of momentum due to that, but Trezise there going a little bit bumpier over the left-hand side of the straight, backing it into the hairpin. And let's see if Trezise can get the exit he needs to keep Blanche behind. He certainly can. Just taking a little bit of a wider, smoother line through the hairpin really benefits you here at Crandon. But now we turn our attention back to our two leaders, and it is going to be the finish here for Brenton Hobson. And it's been a pretty flawless race from Hobbo. He managed to fight off the demands from Daniel Stevens on the first lap and taking victory there in race 2 of Pro Truck Showdown here at Crandon. Meanwhile, Justin Howe still embroiled in a mega battle here with Jake Jackson. They just went past Willem Layton. Only one turn to go here for these two. And trying to get a straight line exit there was Justin Howe, but not enough space towards the finish line to make it work. So Jackson manages to take 5th place. That's a fantastic run there from Jake Jackson. A very good turnaround from his race 1.
Yeah, great work there by Jake and Justin Howe. Definitely keep the nose clean. We didn't see too much of them, but I think they were the only two that didn't that had straight panels still on their trucks there, Reese.
Yeah, for sure. There were a lot of panels being beaten in that one. But Brenton Hobson by 1.1 from Jaden Russell. Cam Dance 7 seconds behind, completing the podium. That was a very spaced out race at the front with Stevens and Jackson completing the top 5. Howe almost got him, but could not. Postlethwaite only 7/10 behind Justin Howe at the end of it. And Brian Trezise and Zach Blanche complete the finishes on the lead lap. Wilhelm Layton is going to round out the top 10 with Gregory Favell. Another finisher down in 11th place. Damien Westbrook and Mitch McLeod, unfortunately, not able to make it to the finish after that. Well, 2 races down, only 1 to go in Pro Truck Showdown Season 5. But before we do that, it's time for the 5-minute warm-up and a chance for us at SimSpeed TV to step aside briefly. Who is going to come away with the final spoils of victory in Pro Truck Showdown Season 5? Stay with us. You'll find out very soon.
Hey everyone, the USF 2000 is a blast to drive now, and here's your chance to learn it quickly. From my tutorial, VRS created a free bonus track guide for the Laguna Seca circuit, where you can learn exactly what I do in every corner to improve your lap times and get faster on track. You'll learn how to easily recognize brake markers, you'll find out which curves to attack and which ones to avoid, you'll know when to use the full track and when a sequence of corners requires a compromise, and you'll learn how hard to brake and when to lift. The VRS quick reference track maps are available free to download and delivered each week to your inbox. The entire Global MX-5 series is available, as well as bonus maps like this one and many more. So if you're a new racer, or a veteran, or just anyone who wants to learn how to get faster sooner, the VRS track guides are for you. Just hit the link or button on screen and get yours today.
Fantastic. This is GT racing right now. He's got traction. He's got everything outside of both of them. Maloney. Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up to him. Oh my God. Oh, big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get involved.
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, there we go. Oh no. That's massive.
This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?
You're watching the Pro Truck Showdown, presented by Scumander Coffee Mug, Hot Toddy's heating installs, and the Locked On iRacing podcast. For SimSpeed TV, I'm Reese Gardner, and alongside me, Nick Skariev. Well, Nick, we've had two very chaotic races here tonight, but as far as we can work out, Brenton Hobson has amassed enough points tonight that he should be the series champion. All he's got to do is make a start in the next race, and he's pretty much got it, having finished ahead of Glenn Postlethwaite in both races so far.
Yeah, that's right, but you'd have to say if you're a hobbo, you want to take it out there in style and go for the win as best as you can there, but he's absolutely put on a bit of a masterclass there in the second race, really getting... really cementing that win and really showing how flexible he is, especially between the road and the dirt courses.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a very good night for Brenton Hobson. Apart from what happened to him in race one, he managed to make a good recovery, though, to come home with that win in race two. And I think another big story of the night so far is the conflict between Mitchell McLeod and Zach Blanche. They came together twice in race two, and they had a bit of a war of words over the radio. So I think the red mist that you talked about before we went live is certainly going to come into effect now.
Yeah, that's right. I think we've seen so many times coming out of this land rush start. I think everyone just doesn't lift off as soon as they get to that first jump there. So it's always, always so much action. You can see everyone just bumping into each other. It's a real play of dodgem cars out there.
Certainly is. The timer hits 0 in the warm-up session, and we can finally go live for the final 9-lap race of the 5th Pro Truck Showdown season here at Crandon International Raceway. The full course we're running here at Crandon, and it is absolutely immense. Here's the starting grid based on finishing positions in the previous race. It's Hobson and Russell, then Dance, Stevens and Jackson rounding out the top 5, with Justin Howe in 6th place. And it's Postlethwaite, Trezise, Blanche, Leighton, Favell, Westbrook and McLeod. Rounding out the 13 trucks, with Philip Howe, we expect, not taking the start in this race either. So the land rush start for the final time, and I think it's a bit of a pity that not many other drivers have showed up for this final round, because seeing a Crandon land rush start with a full complement of Lucas Oil Off-Road Pro 2 trucks is magnificent to behold. Of course, certainly wouldn't want to be in the driver's seat for it. Here we go then. The revs rise for the final time. And we are away, and it looks like a great start there from Cameron Dance. He manages to just edge ahead of Russell and Hobson, but gets the jumps wrong once again, and they all get a good run on him. Hobson is going to lead the way into the first racing turn, but Justin Howe making contact with Glenn Postlethwaite, just sending him wide there. Russell has managed to keep Zach Blanche behind for now, but will that change in due course? It looks like it will. Blanche up the inside, and then bam into Postlethwaite. He gets spun around and then ricocheted around like a pinball between the Synergy cars and Cameron Dance as they come into the left-hand hairpin. Postlethwaite shoved wide by Justin Howe, and that allows Cam Dance alongside to try and challenge third place. Brenton Hobson is getting a very good lead right now as they come around to start the first actual racing lap. Russell having to go wide there to let Zach Blanche through, and mounting the wall is Willem Leighton, and that has collected the back half of the field.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for Willem Leighton. I think he might be able to actually land on his wheels, which he has there, so he'll be able to resume. It's actually a pretty long race here as well, being 9 laps, so plenty of opportunity there to make that distance back there. But absolute winner there at the moment from the start there, Justin Howe, absolutely putting the pressure on and getting that slide job done there on, I think that might have been Postlethwaite, so that's pushed him all the way up into 2nd place.
It has indeed, and Cameron Dance at the moment really embroiled in a battle there. Jaden Russell we just saw going off the circuit on the run up to the hairpin, which was certainly a bit of an adventure for him. As the field comes through, the sweeping right-hander over the jumps in the middle of the lap. Big landing, the compression through the suspension. I just I continue to be amazed at the amount of force that goes through the dampers and springs of these trucks. It's any wonder that they actually hold themselves together around a lap here at Crandon. But Cameron Dance still trying to pressure Zach Blanche, who is still trying to pressure Justin Howe. Looks to me like the battle for second well and truly on here, as Cam tried his best to get a run up the inside of Zach Blanche on the exit of the final turn, but no dice.
Yeah, so it's actually worked out into Zach Blanche's favour there. We were just talking about those earlier incidents between him and Mitch McLeod. So Mitch McLeod down into 11th place there at the moment. He's trying to fight for position at the moment behind Gregory Favell and Jake Jackson there. Just looking here up the front though, Justin Howe, you can see deep on the brakes there, and you can see all those different lines that people take, whether or not you keep him tight or keep him long there. You can see that momentum though, that Howe takes her around. So he actually is going to be able to pull himself back through there on Zach Blanche and have that inside line.
And just moves ahead of him as they enter the corner. This is a really immense corner there, that right-hander. And certainly a challenge to get right, as is every bump and divot around Crandon. But tell you what, if Howe and Blanche keep battling like this, it's going to be Cameron Dance who really benefits. And Dance has been looking for a win here tonight. He finished second in race 1, third in race 2. So if he can get on the podium again, he'll certainly be happy. But he has had the pace to win. It's just a question of getting past drivers here. And like you say, Nick, with the amount of lines that you can take around a lot of the corners here, it's very hard to plan a move.
Yeah, that's right. And it's also just trying to be in the right spot there at the right time. We've seen so many competitive drivers here, and it really is a stacked field that we have here tonight. That only takes one tap from behind there, and it can destroy your momentum and and really put a bit of a dampener on your race there.
Well, Brenton Hobson has got a dominant lead at the moment by over 2 seconds over these drivers behind as Blanche backs it into the hairpin. Then there's Dance, and then Postlethwaite and Russell trading positions there. That's Russell getting back ahead of Postlethwaite. They are leaving behind the pack of Westbrook, Stevens, Jackson, Favell and McLeod, who are all embroiled in this battle here. Westbrook leading the way into the sweeping right-hander. But Daniel Stevens is looking for a good result here tonight. He'd certainly want something to happen to Westbrook up ahead.
Yeah, Daniel Stevens here really showing the best way to get those jumps as well. You can see as they go through on that left-hander, same thing again. You've got to be pitching the car sideways as you hit the jump there, so you're prepared for the landing. Nice big hairpin through there as well. Big slides coming through, and that rounds out another lap for this group here. So bit of a mistake there just in front there. I think that might be Damien Russell there. So that's pulled, sorry, actually that was Damien Westbrook there. So it's pulled Daniel Stevens and the rest of this field onto the back, and he's off into space there. So he is gone. That will be he'll be a lap down there for Westbrook.
Goodbye, Daniel Stevens. Good night, sweet prince. Let's see what happened to him here. Might have just accidentally tagged the wall or thereabouts. Yeah, just got on the berm up on 2 wheels and then sent straight off the circuit into the void. He went and through to the pits. So it's a big shame there for Westbrook. It's another thing that can really take your sights off here at Crandon is the berms on the inside of a lot of these corners. This track, of course, is carved out of the dirt, so any kind of dirt wall, so to speak, is certainly not your friend around here. Battle for 7th. Stevens, Jackson, Favell and McLeod. We ride on board with Favell as they chase down Glenn Postlethwaite here, and all trying different lines here through the left-hand hairpin, but none of them actually gaining on any of the others so far, at least. We're past half race distance now, so the time is rapidly running out for these drivers to try and make some moves. Favell just not able to get off the jump as he would have liked. Did not stick the landing at all. He's lost a little bit of momentum to the two drivers in front. He has the potential here to gain it back, though, down through the left-hander, down the straight towards the very tight hairpin, but I think he's just a little bit too far away to make anything resembling a move right now.
Yeah, you can see on the brakes pretty early as well, as you can see that line there by Mitch McLeod. McLeod choosing to take that big momentum approach there, taking a really wide arc. It's quite tricky for these trucks too, as they come down that straight as well, trying to get that power down. Just looking a little bit further up here at the moment, looking at Zach Blanchard and Justin Howe. Still maintaining that gap though to Brenton Hobson. So Hobson pulling that gap there out to around 2 seconds, but just maintaining that at the moment while these two fight. So that is going to hold them up just that little bit.
Just a little bit indeed. Favell, meanwhile, and Jackson. Jake on the outside of Favell. And that is a move completed there for the number 76. So Jackson falling down a position and now coming under attack from Mitchell McLeod. And oh, a bit too sideways over the jump. McLeod, though, not able to react as he would have liked. Tries to stick it up the inside of the final corner. They make contact as they come across the jump, but Jackson just staying ahead. McLeod is a very hard racer, but I think even he couldn't make that work.
Yeah, that's right. And so much with these dirt tracks as well. So much action, even with the minor places there. You'd almost think that they were racing for first with the amount of biffing and barging that we're seeing tonight here. He was just catching up with Glenn Postlethwaite there, so a bit of a gap around him there at the moment. So he's pretty clear there. You can see Daniel Stevens under a lot of attack now by Gregory Favell. Stevens just pulling that gap there back as they come down that, or you could call it almost a pit straight there.
Oh no, Cameron Dance getting up into the berm there as he tried to pursue Zach Blanche for third. He's lost a lot of time to Blanche and Howe now. Those three were pretty much line astern, so to speak, with the gaps between them up until that point. So Dance will be ruining that mistake, as that looks like a mistake for Gregory Favell, which we'll get a quick virtual racing school replay of. What happened to Gregory here coming over the back half of the circuit towards the start-finish line? Just went a bit too hard over the hill and backed it into the wall. Went for a big spin, and he fortunately was able to get it back going in the right direction again. Unfortunately for him, that is any hint of a top 5 finish gone.
Yeah, that's exactly right there as well. Also just caught off camera there. Big mistake there by Mitch McLeod, which has actually put him down there a couple of spots. It's actually put him in behind there, Gregory Favell, and really crossed up there into the berm again there. So,
Well, you mate.
Yeah, that's him done for tonight. So, pretty unfortunate end of the season there for Mitch McLeod. But back on with our I think the third place there. Zach Blanche there, just looking behind there, Justin Howe.
Oh, and Howe gets into the wall over the hill, which allows Blanche a little bit of a chance here. But still not far up enough to make a move. Howe he seems to like that wide entry, but Blanche just sticking it up the inside, trying to ruin Howe's run. Hasn't been able to make it work for the time being, but one more braking zone here. It's more of a slide zone than a braking zone, really, and Howe, again, with that outside line, he's very familiar with how these trucks work, as is Zach Blanche. Both of these guys seem to do very well on the dirt side of things. But that battle is going to continue towards the very end. And oh, look at that over-under there from Zach Blanche. He did the big crossover on Justin Howe. Managed to get alongside him through the left-hander. But Howe, again, with that outside line, he just seems to make it work beautifully.
Yeah, you watch how they approach this hairpin there. Justin Howe really throws it in sideways, but actually runs like the apex, running really wide there. But you'll see that will give him the pace here along this straight. Zach Blanche there, absolutely coming door to door. Justin Howe there with the inside line there. So Blanche will have to just tuck himself in behind, just give that gap there as they come over this jump left-hander.
Oh, and Howe, he didn't stick the landing and allows Blanche through as they come over the hill. Just ran a little bit wide, did Howie. So now his attention turns to trying to get back past Zach Blanche for second, up the inside of the hairpin. Blanche trying to keep the momentum up, but Justin Howe parks it on the apex, and manages to take the second place right back. Fantastic battle that we're seeing between these two. And Howe again with the outside line. Let's see if he can make it work again. Big contact between he and Blanche. They like really rubbing panels, these two. But Howe managing to maintain second. This is the final lap, by the way. Brenton Hobson is in the lead by 5.7 seconds now, and this battle is only increasing that gap. It's a repeat of the last lap. Zach Blanche gets up the inside of Justin Howe on the exit of the left-hander, and he makes it stick. Goodness me, fantastic stuff between these two. And it's the battle of the late breakers down at the hairpin. Justin Howe will swing it out wide here. Blanche, though, stopping. And look at the over-under from Justin Howe. He manages to get that position back wonderfully. Fantastic stuff from both of these drivers. It's been a pretty clean battle, so to speak, in these trucks by those standards anyway. But Howe, he just took that tight line through the hairpin, got it squared up on the exit, and just launched himself past Zach Blanche to retake second. A brilliant drive from both of those drivers, but Cameron Dance cannot take advantage of this battling. Who can take advantage, though? Brenton Hobson. This guy has he had a rough start to the season with the Altus boys coming in and wreaking havoc on the pace of the field, but Brenton Hobson, he's come away beautifully in the latter half of the season, and with neither Altus driver here tonight, he crosses the line and is your Pro Truck Showdown Season 5 champion. Howe holds on to second from Zach Blanche. Cameron Dance comes home in fourth, with Jaden Russell rounding out the top 5. Final trucks coming across the line here. It looks like Daniel Stevens is going to be able to hold off Jake Jackson for 7th place. So Daniel Stevens coming home with a pretty good finish there to end off his season. But we turn our attention to this bloke up here, Hobo 88. I mean, absolutely supreme here at Crandon in races 2 and 3, taking the title in style.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be absolutely over the moon with that. And yeah, up against a really stacked field there, as well as those land rush starts as well. So has not had it easy in this time around. Has had to really fight for it. So very well earned there, and taking out the round as well.
Absolutely, with 2 wins and a 6th from tonight's racing. Blanche was able to have a pretty good run himself with a win in race 1, 9th in race 2, and on the podium in race 3. But you know, from there on back, it looks like Cameron Dance might be in with a shot for P2 for the round, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in races 1, 2, and 3, respectively. But these are the final race results of the season. Hobson by 6.3 seconds over the battling pair of Justin Howe and Zach Blanche, with Dance, Russell, and Postlethwaite rounding out the top 6. Then it's Stevens, Jackson, Favell, and Leighton rounding out the top 10. A lap down, Brian Trezise. Very unfortunate for him. He was not able to get a good finish out of that. Neither could Damian Westbrook or Mitchell McLeod, both of them coming away with retirements out of that one. And Philip Howe, well, he was a bit more of an observer tonight. So now we can go for driver interviews, and it is the 6th place meme himself, Brenton Hobson, but this time it is 1st place we want to talk about, not only taking the win in races 2 and 3, but it looks like you're the champion of Season 5, so taking back-to-back titles here. Hobbo, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. A lot of fun messing around in the dirt tonight. It's a shame that Cooper didn't turn up, because it was shaping up to be a good fight for the championship, actually, because we had a horrible race in Watkins Glen. So depending on if there was a drop round or not, we had a chance to really pull some margin back in the points. They were a lot closer than it looked. But yeah, he didn't turn up tonight. So I think on my numbers, it might have just got over the line in the points if there is a drop round, and if there's not, then definitely. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. It's a bit of a shame it ended that way, but yeah, I'm happy to pick up the win.
Let's just go back briefly to race 1. You ran the fastest time in qualifying, but unfortunately only came away 6th, and it seemed like that the first couple of laps were really chaotic for you.
That whole race was chaotic. As it turns out, with my inexperience at Crandon, as it turns out, the far right-hand side for the start is not where you want to be. So the first place quali position is not the place you want to be starting. It's all grass all the way, and it's very difficult to get any speed off the line out there. So yeah, got a horrible start in race 1. sort of got through turn 1 in a half middle of the pack spot and then got jumped on and off the track. So last to 6th was probably as good as I could have hoped for in that race. But my old mate J Russ didn't do me any favours though, but we had to work for it. And then the last race I was a bit nervous because we were back over there again for the start, but somehow got the whole shot. So that was a good start. I was pretty happy with that.
As you should be. Well, I guess for the final question, looking back on your season as a whole, it didn't quite get off to the start that you would want for a title defense, with the Altus boys coming in and your results not quite reflecting the brilliant pace that you have in these pro trucks. So I guess my question is, what changed for you over the season? Did you try anything different in terms of driving style or race strategy, or did you just keep at it?
I just kept at it. I mean, full credit to those guys because they came in here without driving these things and they were fast, and probably faster than us just about in SSR. What caught me off and us off at the start of the season was just the aggression of the racing. We're pretty used to this being a bit of a gentleman's. We drive around side by side and, race to the win if you can, if you're good enough on the outside type of thing. But those guys came in and they have a different mindset. That's just because they haven't been in the series before. So they were racing really aggressive and we just weren't aggressive enough and copped the bad end of the stick at the start. So we had to ramp up the aggression, which is not really my style. But as the season went on, we sort of adjusted and they tamed it back a little bit, and it ended up being really nice and good fun towards the end racing those guys, which was really good. But the season just took off in 11th gear when we weren't used to it, so we're a bit slow to the punch and had to chase the whole way to the end, which is why it was a shame that they weren't here tonight, because it was going to come right down to the wire.
Yeah, certainly. I agree with you there, Hobbo. But I guess our congratulations from SimSpeed TV once again to you on your second title running in the Pro Truck Showdown. Who would you like to thank for it?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank Justin. I mean, he's a really cool guy and he puts his heart into it and he's passionate about it, and it's a really fun series, and I appreciate all the time and effort, which there is a lot of, that goes into running something like this. And big shout out to him because he's a real good guy, and the series has been a lot of fun, so without him it wouldn't have existed. And the same to you guys as well for putting on a broadcast throughout the whole thing, because it is exciting to watch. These things are underrated. A lot of people don't realize how good they are, and you guys putting on the show every week sort of helps to get the reach out there for people to just see what sort of racing these things can put on. And obviously a shout out to the guys in SSR as well, and my mates for coming to run with me this season. It's been good fun, although they didn't really all get the results they would have liked and probably deserved, but it was a lot of fun with those guys as always.
It was certainly a lot of fun for us up here in the box as well. That's Brenton Hobson, your Season 5 champion of the Pro Truck Showdown. Next driver interview, we're going to go to second place in Race 3, Justin Howe, our series administrator. Justin, bit of a chaotic night for you, particularly in Race 1.
Yeah, ended up on the lid. Have to get old Dan Stevens to sponsor me a sausage roll with some chili sauce or something.
Oh, goodness me. Well, either way, it looks like your night picked up a bit after that, with 6th in Race 2 and 2nd in Race 3. Talk us through that battle with Zach Blanche that you were having, because it certainly caught our attention in Race 3. Really showed how powerful the outside line is in these trucks. Yeah,
look, you're chasing that fresh dirt to try and keep ahead. And look, that was an awesome race with Zach. Really enjoyed it. There was some over unders, and she was a real tough race, so I had to keep my eyes on the ball.
Yeah, certainly, and keep your eye on the ball. You did. So I guess with another successful season now under the belt of your series, what does the future hold for the Pro Truck Showdown?
At the moment, we're just looking to have a bit of a break. I've got a few things I've got to deal with in personal life, unfortunately, which won't allow me to be here on the nights and days that the events run. So I'd like to, we'll probably have a break for a month and a bit maybe, and come back and have some more fun.
Certainly looking forward to that. Well, before we let you go, Justin, is there anyone that you'd like to thank?
I'd just like to thank Hot Toddy's heating installs and Coffee Mug Scumander for supporting the series since the outset of it. Started off with a few mates and ended up as quite a few people enjoying the series. I'd like to especially thank all the drivers for running all the events that I've put on, and once again thank the expertise of you guys at SimSpeed TV. He's done a really good job of the broadcasting. I really enjoyed it, and I'd suggest that it's very good value for money being able to run with you guys. So I really appreciate the efforts you guys have put in as well.
Thank you very much, Justin Howe. Kind words certainly don't go unnoticed here. That's our series administrator, Justin Howe, taking a podium in the final race of the season before Pro Truck Showdown goes on break. Final driver interview of the night. We've got Zach Blanche in the box with us. Zach, apart from race 2, it was a very successful night for you, taking the win in race 1. You seem to really like the dirt.
Yeah, the dirt's pretty good. I enjoy it a lot compared to the road. I struggle there. But yeah, race 2 was a shocker. Just got caught up in a turn 1 incident, and I swear my truck was flipping for like a minute straight.
Yeah, certainly seemed that way from outside the truck as well. And, Mitchell McLeod, the incidents that you had with him in race 2 kind of defined your night. What was your view on all of that? Because it certainly looked like there was a bit of biff and barge going, which is expected in the Lucas Oil Off-Road Pro 2 trucks, but it might have gotten a bit out of hand at times.
Oh, we had our words in the middle of the session, but once everything cooled down, we seemed to realise that the first one was a racing incident, the second one sort of was neither of our faults, and the third hit between us was also just a racing incident. So we just apologised to each other. It was fine, just good racing.
Fair enough. All good between you two, which is really good to hear. Well, coming away with the podium in race 3 with a titanic battle with Justin Howe. How do you approach battling with another truck around Crandon?
Oh, it's a very hard track. There's minimal passing opportunity. There's a lot of room where you can just wipe someone out by accident and not even mean it. I nearly got him in the last corner. But yeah, it was just good racing. Like that's the way it's meant to be in these trucks, just bumping each other and rubbing, but not like taking each other out.
Indeed, certainly what we like to see up here as well. Well, Zach, congratulations once again on your 2 podiums here tonight. Before we let you go, is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, huge thanks to the team. They're good practice. They have a good run in these things with me. And a couple of our sponsors, Cutting Edge Tracks, HR Sims, Wartooth, and Haltech. And yeah, they all give us a good help around and whatnot.
Zach Blanche there, win 3rd place here tonight at Crandon. Big congratulations to all of our podium getters here tonight. Big congratulations once again to Brenton Hobson, who comes away with the title in Pro Truck Showdown Season 5. Nick, it's been a fantastic season, and we know that the series is going to be going on break for a little bit, but can't wait for it to get started back up again because we love this series.
Yeah, it's exactly right, Reece. So yeah, thanks to yourself and Jay for having us for this season as well. It's always such a great season to watch, and it's so much fun to drive the trucks as well. So yeah, lots of fun all around, and I think the break will feel like it's a bit of a long one, and the next season can't come soon enough.
Well, whenever Pro Truck Showdown Season 6 gets off to a start, you'll be able to catch it here on SimSpeed TV. We thank you very much for your patronage and your viewing during this season, and all of you out there watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. We certainly hope that you've enjoyed the show, the racing that these drivers have put on, and the show here at SimSpeed TV. A big thanks once again to series sponsors, Coffee Mug Scumander and Hot Toddy's Heating Installs, also the Locked On iRacing podcast for their support of this series as well. My name's Reece Gardner, Nick Skariev alongside me in the commentary box, and Jay Kennedy making everything happen behind the scenes as usual. Bye for now, but certainly not forever. Whenever Pro Truck Showdown Season 6 comes around, we will be there.
fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got rid of the outside, both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up to
Oh my god! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go. Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?